Okay, good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to 2020's final edition of NWCR's Removing Liberal Blindfold for this Thursday, the 31st day of December in the year of our Lord 2020. The left has a funny way of reporting facts. If they agree with them, they will report them 24/7 all over the place on every channel that they can until the cows come home. If the facts don't agree with their ideals, then they will downplay them or just outright ignore them. From Western Journal comes this one, folks. Attack on Pence backfires as extremely simple math foils Huffington Post senior politics reporter. The senior political reporter for the leftist blog HuffPost was foiled by simple math and then brutally ratioed on Twitter when she attempted to take a swipe at Vice President Mike Pence. Jennifer Bendry, who brags being the company's senior politics reporter, in addition to the president of Washington Press Club Foundation, took issue on Tuesday with a post from Pence about the number of COVID vaccinations distributed thus far and how many more are on the way. Pence, in a quick update about the miracle vaccines, posted that 20 million vaccine doses will have been distributed by the federal government by next week. Quote, Operation Warp Speed is on track to distribute 20 million doses of coronavirus vaccine by next week. Millions of Americans have been vaccinated, and we are working with states every day to vaccinate millions more. This is no time for playing politics, unquote. Pence was right. This is no time for petty politics. Bendry, though, ignored that part of the message and dug in to the raw numbers of Pence's claim about the vaccines. Quote, Speaking of playing politics, here is Mike Pence casually changing the Trump administration's goal of vaccinating 20 million people by the end of the year to distributing 20 million doses of the vaccine by the end of the year, she wrote. Apparently, President Donald Trump himself is supposed to fly around like Superman and begin administering the injections. All the federal government can do is handle the logistics, which was lost on the alleged reporter. And I put alleged. But Bendry wasn't finished digging herself into a hole. She shared information from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention about the current number of those who have been stuck with a needle. That information actually proved her own claim wrong. Quote, Also, it's not true that millions of Americans have been vaccinated, which Pence surely knows, she wrote. Roughly 2.1 million people have been vaccinated so far per the CDC, unquote. Bendry seemed to not be aware that 2.1 million do count as millions of Americans. 1 million plus another million equals 2 million, which meant that as of Tuesday, millions had indeed been inoculated. Her mathematical error didn't go unnoticed. The woman was ridiculed to no end and ratioed several times over. If you're not familiar with that term on Twitter, being ratioed means that your original take was so terrible that the comments correcting it received more reactions than the post did itself. Former Trump administration acting director of national intelligence Richard Grenell was among the first to lay into the partisan reporter. Ha ha, so typical. She'll start blocking people any minute. #SafeSpace, Grenell responded with a message which received more love from Twitter than Bendry's post. Then popular Trump supporter and voting drive organizer Scott Presler hit the leftist with some brutal facts and even a more brutal ratio. Quote, Fact check, false. 2.1 million is in fact millions, plural, of people, Presler wrote. The comment received more than 10 times the number of likes as Bendry's original and condescending post. That's a tough ratio for a national reporter with a major platform. The HuffPost senior politics reporter eventually issued a response, attempting to end the online bloodbath in her notifications. She actually admitted the error, which is commendable. Oh my lord, has this tweet taken off? Allow me to clarify. Pence was not wrong to say 2.1 million people equals millions. I shouldn't have said not true. That's my bad, she wrote. I should have said overstatement. The millions he's talking about is barely over 2 million, hence the link to CDC data. Despite the clarification, Bendry is still being savaged as of Wednesday for a mistake that could have been avoided had she not been so quick to politicize the non-political data from the vice president. Arrogant establishment media reporters too often let their hatred for conservatives blind them to simple things such as basic math. And now to remove the liberal blindfold here, folks. Jennifer Bendry, who brags being the company's senior politics reporter in addition to being the president of the Washington Press Club Foundation, doesn't know what she is talking about. When it comes to facts like this, if it was in the liberals' favor, they would have been touting the 2.1 million as being above the projected amounts and a great thing. But when a liberal like Jennifer talks of facts that don't help the liberal agenda, then they suppress it or just downright ignore the facts and push the liberal lie. This is nothing more than what Jennifer Bendry, the supposed political expert who ignored the facts and then got caught, did. At least she, in her liberal half-assed way, apologized for her indiscretions. But she isn't sorry that she was wrong. Oh no, no liberal is. They're never wrong after all. She's just sorry she got caught. And a liberal will do one of two things when caught. Either apologize enough to make it look like she's really sorry, or just get flustered. She got both on this one. The trouble is, liberals learn from this, and in the future she won't get caught again. But she will not change her way of looking at things. No liberal ever does. To them, the world is wrong, and only they are right. Those are more reasons that I always end my updates with my shows with what a friend of mine used to always say: we will not be ruled. Americans have always been the greatest because we fought to be the greatest. That isn't arrogance, it is the truth. But where we are going wrong now is, as Bing said on his show on Sunday, our Constitution has not failed us. We have failed our Constitution. So at what point do you give in? I say never. America deserves our undying support, something the left never gives, and this article showed that, and doesn't want us to either. And so far, we haven't. This is Robert the Infidel for today's NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold from behind the silver microphone of freedom with the voice of reason in this increasingly unreasonable world, brought to you through Conservative Nation Media, where we fight to make sure America always wins. Have a blessed day, and God bless you all with a very prosperous and happy New Year. See you all in 2021.